Hey, funny homies. It's time for episode 13 of season 5 of the Fake Football Guys show. On today's episodes, we discuss this week's waiver wire, injuries, the bye-apocalypse, and so much more. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back, fantasy football fan. It's time for another episode of the Fake Football Guys show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Campos, and alongside me is the guy that beat me this week in my home league, Dustin DL Lingerman. What's up, DL?
What's that, loser?
Not much, man. Not much. You got me. The worst team in the league became the best team in the league this week.
You're damn right. You're damn right. And let me tell you a little something about that. One of your home league friends or fellow managers messaged me on my 10-hour drive to South Dakota asking me if I was willing to move CeeDee Lamb because he's injured. And I hit him back with a John Candy, like, no. And he's like, why, dude? He's like injured. He's going to be out a couple of weeks. I'm like, no, he's not. He's literally going to play this week. He's like, well, he had that. I don't know, man. Like, I just figured you want somebody now. I'm like, listen, man, pound, kick rocks, bro. Kick rocks. He's like, well, I was just trying to help. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, you're trying to help me win. No way. So I kept him. CD delivered.
Hell yeah, he did. Did he ever? DL, I was down like 60 points. I had Jahmyr Gibbs. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, Kenneth Walker, and Kaimi Fairbairn going. And I put up like 69.5 points. I lost by half a point.
Dude. Yeah. I literally like, because the Seattle game, the second game that started at 9 o'clock p.m. Thanks a lot. I was tired because I just got home from South Dakota yesterday. And literally like was just dead to the world. And I was like, I'm not going to sit up until midnight watching this game just to know that I lost. Like I can just wake up tomorrow morning. And then I woke up and I was like, holy crap, I won.
I know. Congrats.
But can we tell everyone how it was like, it was 142 or 145?
142 to 142 and a half. Half a point. Literally half
a fucking point.
I was hoping for a score adjustment. I have seen like I literally have one maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I won a matchup because a play was changed by like a half yard, and they
Don't
gave him
put that
instead
on
of
there,
9
dude.
to
Why
10.
would you do that?
I'm
Don't
serious. That happened, and I won a matchup like that. And in the reverse, that same year, I lost a championship because Russell Wilson took a knee and he took a step back and he lost yardage, and I lost by that half yard. So it goes both ways. You win some, you lose some. It is what it is. But that's not why you guys are here.
No.
DL.
I will say that.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
I will say, I'm just putting it out there because I want to give hope. It does to this show, right? So if you guys haven't been watching, I'm in a new auction league. Spent all my money right away. Got like all these great guys. Got
home league. Yeah.
CD Lamb, CMC, and like Drake London, and everyone else was garbage. I literally have been piecing week by week together a team. Finally, I got like honestly like at least
it's good. It's a
good team that is like relevant. That it's kind of like, oh, I don't know. Okay, he's got okay. What I'm point being, putting a bow on this, don't give up. Just keep going. And like, yeah, I had to trade away CMC. I had to trade away Drake London. I got fucking buried in comments in this league. Like just like to the point where I was like, man, I don't know. I don't like these guys. It's so mean.
I want to take my ball and go home.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, man, stay strong. And I like finally starting to come around. Yes, I make the playoffs. Maybe slim chance. Oh, I'm trying to just
win out
last place. I'm just trying to get out of last place, bro. That's it. I don't want to wear this dress. I'm already embarrassed because this is my first time, and like, because your boys watch this show.
They do.
Like, yeah, let's invite Dustin. Like, he knows what he's talking about. Like, hell yeah, dude. What's up, my guy? Yeah, fuck you. Gonna meet you. And it's embarrassing. So I'm just like, do not get last. And I really want to stick it to Julio. That's who I want. Sorry. To one of the.
He tunes in, man. He tunes in. Right now we have David watching, Pavoni, as we call him. He's in the league. He just texted me that he tuned in. So, another jam-packed show.
We do. We got
it. There it is. You see? There you go. Jessica, that's his wife. I love that he's using her YouTube account. What a guy.
Hey, different person. Make sure that she likes and subscribes too.
Yeah, subscribe, like, put in that notification bell. Okay, put that on.
Speaking of
which, let's remind the people where they can follow us on Twitter. DL, what is the account they can follow?
Tweet FFG.
Hold on, what was? This guy is ridiculous. Yeah, hello, Julio. See, everyone has that same feeling towards Julio. We love you, Julio. We also hate you. Don't share that next one. Don't share the next one.
Sorry.
All right. Anyway, you can follow us on Twitter at TweetFFG. And DL, what is the hashtag to use?
Ask us FFG.
That's right. And as always, if you prefer to use email, that's more your speed. If you don't have Twitter or X or Instagram or anything like that, DL, what is the email where people could send those fantasy-related questions?
Ask us ffg@gmail.com.
And finally, the phone number. DL, it's actually working. We put your phone number up a week or two ago, and we got a voicemail, DL.
Good.
What's that phone number?
Area code 773-225-5648. Yeah, everything is charged to your account. So I'm sick of these bots. I'm sick of the spam calls. I'm sick of I got some lady who's like, hey, Dustin, it's Ava. We're going to check your roof. I'm like, fuck you, Ava. Are you alive? Anyways, it's been fun. It's been
my girlfriend just texted me, and she said that we are really good at this. So,
oh, cool. Thank you.
Love you. All right, let's keep going, DL. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and
smash
that notification button. That way you know when we go live. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere that you listen to your podcasts.
And check out our shorts on TikTok and
that's
all
right.
that fun stuff too. Because if you can't sit here and watch the whole show, at least you can get an idea of who to target in the waiver. So
we have a lot of nuggets that we leave in those reels on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. You guys could definitely check those out. Condensed little videos of who to add, who to drop, what to do. We answer questions. And DL, we have another jam-packed show for you guys today. Let's go to the news.
Okay, we'll get there in 2 shakes of a lamb tail. All right. We're at the news. My favorite part. So we're going to start things off a little petty today. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but Russell Wilson had something to say about Sean Payton because Sean Payton was saying some not so nice things about what was going on. So this dude fired back. Russell Wilson is not taking it anymore, ladies and gentlemen. He is upset. He said, Russell Wilson, yeah, Mr. Unlimited himself, finally let it fly, and not on the field because he's been benched. After his former coach Sean Payton took what looked like a shot at him, Russ fired back on social media, calling Payton classless, and even threw shade about that scandal that happened in 2012. Maybe you guys remember 2012 Bounty Gate. Saying, didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 years later through the media. Ho, ho, ho. Wow. What do you think? You think, Russ, your boy ain't taking it no more. He's tired.
He's tired.
Limited. He's tired. So tired he should retire. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. So now remember, Wilson started the season for the Giants, got benched after just 3 games for rookie quarterback Jackson Dart, and this past Sunday, the Broncos came back from a 26-8 deficit. Let that sink in, to beat those same Giants 33-32. A total meltdown that probably made the whole thing sting even more for Russ. So, yeah, man, that was crazy though. Like honestly, like I had, of course, I had Bo Nix. I was playing against JC. I checked it
You're
one
welcome.
time because, yes. Anyways, I checked it and I saw that Bo Nix only had like 9 points. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna like go hang out with my uncles and drink beer in the driveway. I literally checked it later. It's like 37 points. I'm like, cool. I don't know what happened, but this is awesome. Anyways. Moving on, Carson Wentz is still holding the keys in Minnesota. So just an update for you folks. Carson Wentz experiment is still rolling on in Minnesota. Head coach Kevin O'Connell confirmed that Wentz will get his 5th start when the Vikings take on the Chargers this Thursday night. JJ McCarthy went through a workout earlier in the week, but that ankle injury is still lingering. Is it though? Or is it that he wasn't? Well, he was okay. Okay. And with that short of a turnaround, the team is playing it safe. Now, here's what it means for fantasy. Wentz has actually been a sneaky solid, not league winning, but serviceable. If you're desperate and a super flex, this might be streamable, but we'll get that a little bit more into waivers. We're going to wrap things up with the Jets, man. This kind of sucks, man. So, yeah, New York, what the Jets are doing, well, Jet things. Owner Woody Johnson says he is still all in on first year head coach Aaron Glenn, even after starting this season 0-7. Yikes. Yay. You heard that right. Winless, only team in the league without a dub. Woody actually told reporters he's known Glenn since the 90s. Throwback. Yeah. All right. And he believes that he's the real deal. No BS, no second agendas, just the truth. Sounds nice, but here's the truth from a fantasy perspective. The offense is unwatchable. The real problem, as even Woody would admit, is the quarterback play. He basically said, our quarterback rating is garbage. But hey, what can you do? And he's not wrong. If your quarterback's flopping, yeah, your season shares are too. So, put in perspective, the Justin Fields experiment is not working out for the Jets, which sucks, man, because everybody knows The Bears drafted him, did him dirty, right? I'm going to say it. They did him dirty. I moved on to Pittsburgh, where
did they do him dirty? They didn't give him the weapons that they gave Caleb, but the guy had time. He had time.
You're saying this. Okay, I don't know. All right, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, if you get seasons here, you got 3 seasons to prove that he could do it here. I mean, okay, was it they didn't do right by him by giving him weapons. I will say that for sure. I'm a Justin Fields fan, 100%. Love the guy. I think the guy is I love the guy, like, legit. Did you hear what he said to the media after he was benched?
No.
He thanked God for the perspective. And I'm not this like big God guy. I don't want to get on a soapbox and go into it, but respect to the guy for flipping something so bad. I don't know if I would have handled it that well, to be honest. Basically getting fired. You know, you can't go back to Justin now, right? Unless Tyrod Taylor gets hurt. Once you make this change, you're basically saying, that's it. I don't believe in you anymore. You can't do the job. So it's Tyrod Taylor's team now, which is crazy because Tyrod Taylor is not good.
No. The reason why he's a backup.
He can't pass the ball as well as Justin. Now we're talking fantasy here, okay? But real life too. Can't pass the ball as well as Justin. Maybe he's definitely more accurate than Justin. That's about the only thing he's got, and even that's questionable. He can't run as well as Justin. He can't evade the pressure as well as Justin. Can't read a defense. Maybe he can read a defense as well as Justin. Tyrod Taylor is nothing special, unfortunately. So we'll see. Hopefully he proves me wrong. But when you do this change, it's basically a coach trying to save his job. Okay, that's what I think this is.
Yeah, and I wanna agree with you. Like the Justin Fields experiment, he hasn't been able to do it. He went to Pittsburgh, everyone was high, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, Justin, and he played really well. But we said it last year as well too, is that Tomlin isn't stupid, and there's a reason why he was like, I'm gonna go with Russ, right? Russell Wilson at that point. Like even though Justin got wins, he kept the Steelers in it, right, to make the playoffs and bounce like every year. But he saw something he didn't like and went with Russ, right? And if you fast forward to now, now Russ is on the bench again, and they're sticking to their rook, right? Jackson Dart, that is. And then Justin gets another chance where it's like, all right, cool. Going to a new team, new head coach, you have the defense, you have offense weapons. Wilson, I feel so bad for that dude because he is his career is dying on that team. Just dying. And it's not fair because he is so freaking good. If he went to if he was on Kansas City Chiefs right now, bro, forget about it.
Who are we talking about? Wilson?
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. I'll say this, okay, for Justin Fields deal. It's not over yet, but it's close, okay, for as far as being a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I don't think he gets another starting role.
I think he'll get one more. Look, here's what I think. I think he'll get into a competition. I think he'll go to another team and get another chance. Look, good for Justin. He got $30 million from the Jets. He made out well. Good for him from that standpoint. But Sam Darnold went to 5 teams. Okay, Sam Darnold's 28 years old. I like
that. Okay.
Sam Darnold went to the Jets and stunk it up. Went to the Panthers, stunk it up. Went to the 49ers. Didn't really do much there. But he learned under Kyle Shanahan. Okay, he learned offense. He learned how to think. He even credited Kyle Shanahan for teaching him how to read defenses, how to read zones, where to throw the ball, progressions, a little more. He really taught him, his offense, and it helped him. Then he went to Minnesota, and he was great. Minnesota is probably regretting that they didn't keep him if we look at what they're going through right now. And now he plays for the Seahawks, and the guy's really good, man. So,
dude, I love it.
Could it happen for Justin? Yeah, but we'll see.
Maybe he gets a resurgence 3 years later. I don't know. It's just the problem that is still the same issues with Justin is that he hangs onto the ball, and the guy has to be absolutely open, and you can't do that in the NFL. It's never going to happen. The guy is never going to be 100% open, and you got to just throw it to him. You got to hit him on that turn. Even if he's not ready, you throw it, right?
Yep.
And even if we talk about Caleb Williams, he's starting to get that, right? He's starting to understand that, here we go, boom. There's a play, it's on the wide receiver to hit that mark, turn around, the ball should be right there. Right there. If you look
100%.
back even at the 49ers, right? When the West Coast offense was created, that's what it was. It was like you're going to go up to this marker and turn around and the ball's going to be there, right?
Yep.
There is no don't if you go too far up, you're going to miss it. If you go too far down, it's going to get picked. You need to be at this spot right here, right now, within like 3 seconds or whatever. So, and that's what I think that transition from Justin going from college to the NFL, which every guy that you're playing against is elite, is the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like going up against division schools that suck at recruiting. This is like, no, these guys are these are elite. So just putting a bow on that. It does suck, man. And I do have a soft spot in my heart for Justin because, like, when they drafted him, I was like, "Oh, we got it."
Yeah.
Which we did not. Anyways, we're gonna go on to injuries. The first one super sucks. In fact, we actually had a show bet with Mike Evans, right?
Yeah, we did. What was it? Do you remember?
If he was gonna get another 1,000-yard season, I'm gonna go ahead and just nix that because of this reason, because he literally broke his collarbone and got a concussion, and it just sucks. Like, for fantasy purposes, he is probably done, like, for the season. And that's not fair. Like, I'm not gonna be like, haha, I told you he got injured, and he's, no. So I'm gonna go ahead and nix that. I'm gonna take it back, and we'll try it again. But yeah, man, he suffered and has a horrible injury, man.
Bad.
He suffered a broken clavicle during the Monday night game versus Detroit, if you didn't know this, and he got a concussion, and he was carted off the field, dude. It was like pretty freaking scary, man. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, he broke it, he landed weird. No, man, it was kind of nasty. So,
do we know where the clavicle is? I have no.
Right here.
Up here. Oh, this little thing that pops out. Okay.
Yeah, right here. It sucks that you're out for like almost like months. Like, he's gonna miss like the fantasy season for
8
sure.
weeks, 8 to 12 or something like that.
Yeah, dude, it's not.
That's terrible.
It's horrible. It sucks, man. Which totally
he's tough, bro. That guy, I can tell, was playing through stuff. You could see it,
Yeah, I don't think he was quite right. He wasn't quite right. Moving on to other injuries, we had Bryce Young for the Panthers suffered a right ankle sprain, high ankle sprain that is, in week 7, and expected to miss, obviously week 8. If you roster Young, you'll want to pivot at this point and get the backup, which is the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. Not a bad streamer. And maybe you want to get Xavier Leggett, which we may talk about in waivers. I don't know yet. But yeah, it sucks because that's not a high ankle sprains like CeeDee Lamb suffered. He was literally out for a month, and it just kind of sucks. So if you had him, sorry about that, but we got some options for you. This one kind of sucks as well too. Kendre Miller for the Rams, the backup dude, suffered a torn ACL in week 7 and is out for the season. Obviously, he was playing against those Chicago Bears. This guy, man, like, every time things start going his way, he gets hurt. Which there was some hubbub about, like, oh, Dennis Allen's like, oh, I told you, you sucked. Which is totally wrong. Man, some of these people, man, on Twitter, dude, they are just ruthless. But moving on, we're going to wrap up the injuries report. Christian Kirk, this is kind of crazy. He was ruled out in week 7 with a hamstring injury, literally like game time or like a day before. So he must have suffered it during practice. So hopefully he gets back. But once again, hamstrings again are weird. Like, this has been over the injuries this whole season has either been the foot, a torn ACL, or a hamstring. It's nuts. It is absolutely. I mean, hamstring that kind of happens every year. Like, obviously hamstrings, but like the foot injuries, man, it's crazy this year.
I'm curious, Dustin, where, and we talked about this probably season 1. I remember bringing this up, and we had one of the Wombats chime in. Where are these injuries occurring? Is it turf? Is it grass? I need to know. How much are they watering these? It sounds crazy, but these players, I hate to put them this way. These are investments. These players are spending. There's so much money on the line for these injuries to keep happening like this. It's so bad, and like their livelihoods are at stake here. And if the NFL is not doing what needs to be done to police the safety of the players, whether that's helmets, whether that's a turf, whether that's what they're putting in their bodies before games, what's being offered by teams, any of those things, how much sleep they're getting, all those things. I know a lot of it is measured and a lot of it is down to a science, but man, these injuries continue to happen over and over and over. These torn Achilles, is it the shoes? What is it? Because I feel like when I was a kid, they didn't occur nearly as much as they're occurring now. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, the Wombats mentioned that before, and it's still the same. It's artificial turf. Like majority of these footage. I mean, look at Neighbors, artificial turf. Kendre Miller, the Saints. I think I want to confirm, not 100%, but I think it's artificial turf. And like there has been a lot of people have been bringing that up. It's like you're seeing this dramatic uptick in injuries when players are on artificial turf. So I get it. Like in domes, like what are you gonna do, right? Like how you'd have to create a whole new like stadium, right? I know like with Arizona, they kind of roll it in. They roll in their like field, but like for most places, you can't just all of a sudden like, okay, we're gonna get rid of artificial turf and go this route. But again, the way things are, like I'm growing like freaking plants in my kitchen right now. We got like basil coming in. We got like lilac or whatever the heck it's called. My wife, she's in like smelling that lavender. That's what it is.
Lavender, nice.
And you can grow it inside, and like it's not really that tough. It needs some sunlight, but that's about it. Or like those LED lights. So
yeah,
I think the NFL, who makes billions of dollars, can figure that out, or at least get a better substitution than what is going on now. Because your product's getting hurt, and like you said, these are livelihoods, man. Like that would suck if I'm out because of grass or fake grass.
Yeah, fake
like,
grass.
You know what I mean?
Played on turf? It's like rubber. It's like shoes. It's like rubber.
Yeah,
have you played on turf?
Like
it's crazy. Like landing on it sucks. It hurts.
And the data's out there, bro. It's not even
there
just like us like being like, supposed to be the artificial turf. No, like it's there. I don't know if you're trying to.
I actually have some quick data here, and then we can move on because I know we have a lot.
We got waivers.
The NFLPA's own study shows that players are 32% more likely to receive injuries, non-contact injuries on turf as opposed to grass. 32% more likely.
Damn.
It's an NFLPA. That's their own internal study.
Damn.
The Players Association came up with that. So, yeah.
Wow, man. So maybe we will see some new type of grass that you play on. Not. Anyways, waiver, you ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
You're welcome.
IDL, it is time to talk about the waivers, and there are a ton of teams on bye this week. Dale, if you don't mind, I believe these are the teams. I'm going off memory here. The Arizona Cardinals, the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Rams, and I think there's one more team, the Seahawks. Those are all the teams on bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. So we got the Cardinals, the Lions, the Jags, the Raiders, the Rams, and those Seahawks. So that's 6 teams. Six
teams on bye.
Teams.
Let's talk about that real quick. So there's a ton of players on bye. We're going to talk about quarterbacks. You have no Kyler Murray. There's no Jared Goff. You're not going to have Trevor Lawrence. I don't know why you would. No Matt Stafford. No Sam Darnold. And no Geno Smith this week. That's a problem. So looking, who else?
Matt Stafford, who just went off.
Matt Stafford, exactly. So if you don't know what to do, we got your back. So we got a couple of names that keep popping up, and honestly, I don't know how they're still out there in half of these leagues. If you're dealing with the bipocalypse, and here's some names. The first guy we're going to recommend is Jackson Dart of the Giants. He plays against the Eagles this week. Tough defense, but a team that has shown to give up some plays from quarterbacks. Dart's rostered in 42% of fantasy leagues. We're recommending a fab budget spend of $15. And I know we've talked about Dart before, but he's still under that 50% threshold, okay? He's, he keeps proving it every week. He's handled tough defenses, and he's got the rushing ability still, okay? Against Denver last week, he threw for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he even tweaked his ankle late in the game. As long as he's healthy, though, I'm treating Dart as a legit top 12 fantasy QB. Philly's defense has been leaky lately, and already he lit them up before. And he already lit them up a couple weeks ago. So I'm not scared to fire him up again this week if you need a QB. So spend those $15 and maybe you'll get him before it's too late. DL, any thoughts on Dart? And DL's not there. All right, we'll continue.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Mute button. I was trying to make sure I wasn't coughing and stuff. I like Dart a lot. I actually grabbed him last week because of this buy, because I knew it was coming, and we recommend that people start jumping ahead, look at your roster, try to get ahead, because guess what? You're fighting with everyone right now to get these guys. I like Dart. I think he's a punchy QB. And yeah, I mean, he's going up. He is going up against the Eagles, but last time he played the Eagles, he did great. They won. Scattaboo. Anyways.
That's right. All right, another QB we're going to recommend is Joe Flacco. That's right. The old man is still fighting time, and he's winning right now. His next matchup is against the New York Jets, and he's rostered in only, get this, 5% of fantasy leagues. We're recommending a fab budget spend of $1 or $2. Yeah, Joe Flacco's back in our fantasy lives, and honestly, it's kind of awesome. He's taken full advantage of the Bengals' stacked offense, finishing top 15 in his debut and cracking top 10 this past weekend. Over his first 2 games in Cincy, he's thrown 5 touchdowns and 0 picks. That's with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase looking like their old selves again. And the schedule ahead is cake, starting with the Jets defense that might be missing Sauce Gardner this week. The run feels a lot like the 2023 stretch in Cleveland when he was averaging 320 yards and almost 3 touchdowns a game. He's not a long-term answer, but if you need a streamer for this week, $1 isn't much to spend. Plug him in. Few guys that we're going to throw in, not go too deep into it, but some guys to keep an eye on. And if you really need the help, Michael Penix will be going up against Miami. That's if he's healthy. I see he's questionable right now. He picked up an injury late in the game. But if he's available, another guy that you could potentially stream. Or if you're in a super deep league, I'm in a few of those where there's no quarterbacks available and you might need a guy. Kirk Cousins might be an interesting name in case Penix doesn't go. Penix is rostered in 24% of fantasy leagues. He is a solid upside streamer versus a bad Miami team. Another guy we're going to recommend is Aaron Rodgers. He goes up against Green Bay. The only reason why I have him on this list is he's 28% rostered, and I'm thinking revenge game. This is going to be the game that Rodgers has his outing this year. So, yeah, it's another good name. And then lastly, a guy that I shit on tremendously, Tyrod Taylor. If you need somebody in a super deep league, he's only 1% rostered. Sneaky, low, high floor, low ceiling kind of guy. And he can run a little bit. So the Bengals defense isn't good. He goes up against the Bengals. I could see him putting up 12 to 14 points. If you're truly desperate or playing the matchups, these are all guys worth a look. Yep.
Yeah, I really do like Joe Flacco. I was giving him a lot of crap when they first got him because I was like, they got a statue. What's he gonna do? But Duke can throw the deep ball, and he did it really last Thursday night. And guess what happened? The run game came alive, and all of a sudden, everyone who was managing Chase Brown's like, "Oh, wait a second, this dead guy on my roster who no one's trading for is now okay." And now they're going around saying, I would never trade, so you got to hang on. That's why you guys suck at fantasy. So, speaking of running backs, let's jump into it. We're going to start things off with our first recommendation for running backs, and that is going to be bear down, baby. Manangai. Da-da-da-da. No? Okay. Anyways, he looked explosive working alongside with Swifty against the Saints. And with Swifty still managing that groin injury a little bit, Manangai could be in line for an even bigger role. we're going to recommend that he's worth at least 5% of your fab in all leagues and carries flex appeal heading into a juicy matchup against the Ravens.
Ravens.
Although the Ravens, I do believe their defense is getting a little bit better.
They're getting
Zero's coming back.
That's right. That's
So
right.
I wouldn't just go ahead and chalk it up to nothing. However, not Jamar. Lamar. Did it right.
My man.
Lamar did not practice today. So something to monitor, especially if you're a Bears fan, because if he comes back, hang on to your butts. Okay. So like I said, if Swifty ends up missing time, Guys instantly becomes a lottery ticket. He's a plug and play upside RB that you'll want on your roster before the league catches up. All right. So the next guy we're going to go ahead and recommend is pretty much the backup to Breece Hall. So if you didn't know, Breece Hall, or I should say his name first, right? That would be Israel Davis. Sorry.
Oh, Israel Davis.
Israel Davis. He's going up against Cincy. He's only 15% roster. As I mentioned, Breece Hall, he left the game with an ankle injury versus the Panthers, but managed to return. He's still, it's one to keep an eye on heading into week 8. The Jets face the Bengals, who are giving up the most fantasy points to running backs this season. If Hall actually does end up missing time or gets traded before November 4th deadline, Israel Davis, or depending on, could instantly become a flex-worthy pickup with Braylon Allen on IR. I would say he's worth a stash, or we should say that. He's worth a stash and around 5% of your fab, especially if you're looking for RB depth with upside, potential trade chaos coming soon. So, since we're in the buy apocalypse, like myself, I got one team that literally I need a running back like yesterday because I got nobody. Not a lot of depth. My bad. Nobody. Okay. So, anyways, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Braden Smith, which once again I told you guys 2 weeks ago to stash this dude, right? Richard, my bad. 18% rostered. So yeah, Smith, who just had his best outing of the season in week 7 against the Raiders. 14 carries for 39 yards, plus 5 catches for 42 yards on 5 targets. Now, before you rush to the waiver wire, a couple of context clues here. Kareem Hunt went down early with an ankle injury, but did return, and the Chiefs won 31-0, which means backups like Smith got some extra run late things. But here's the thing. Over the last couple of weeks, Kareem Hunt's usage has been going down dramatically. And we all know that with Kansas City, they usually start using their rookies towards the second half of the season. So this would be a guy that I would definitely stash. If you're in a pinch, might be worth the flex option. I wouldn't go as high as RB2, RB1 at this point. But that said, Smith quietly has been steady. He's had at least 3 receptions in 4 straight games. He has scored 5+ points in PPR formats. That gives him some sneaky flex value in deeper PPR leagues, even if Hunt and Pacheco are both healthy. That's another thing too. Pacheco's usage went down as well too last week. So I don't know if it was because of the blowout or what have you. They want to see kick the tires on the rookie, but I do think this guy is gonna all of a sudden kind of stand out. And you want to get him before everyone catches up to you. So once again, he's that lottery ticket. I would say, or we should say, 5% of your fab. So, JC, what do you think? Any of those? It's kind of hard. Yeah. I went kind of deep, but
yeah. Pause. I think Kyle Monangai, I would go to 10 to 12, 13% of your fab budget. The Bears are running the ball, and it looks like they're trying to give the running backs 30 touches a game. So if you're going to give DeAndre Swift between 14 to 18 touches, there is room for Monangai to get 10. And I like Monangai with 10 touches. I really do. I think he could give you 60 yards and sneak in a touchdown. Something else to note, the Bears did use Monangai in the red zone. So keep that in mind.
He got his first TD last week.
Exactly. Yep. So if nothing else, even if he only gets 6-7 touches, probably 3 or 4 of those are going to be in the red zone. Keep that in mind. At the goal line. For sure. A little bit stronger.
Obviously, there's rumors too that obviously Ben Johnson's trying to recreate Gibbs and Monty, right? So there's been that kind of talk going on. Wait and see on that. I wouldn't go as far as that just because the talent, right? But yeah, I definitely like this kid. Even though he's a round 7 draft pick, he's showing to be he's showing to be really freaking good. So
yeah.
All right, Paul.
He's actually not bad. I like him. You know what though? Running backs can come from any round. I used to think that why aren't they going in the first, second round? And now I get it. Usually if they go in the first 5 rounds, they could be a really good running back. Sometimes you'll even get a gem late. So anyone can do it behind a good line. The line's been decent. Not gonna lie, it's been solid.
I was gonna say Genty, man. I mean, dude, he was top, and last week he 4 points.
Yeah, he's up and down.
4 points. Anyways.
Definitely up and down. If you want to trade him in your league, let me know. All right. Time to talk about wide receivers. Week 8's waiver wire actually has a nice mix of upside players and steady floor guys. Perfect for the bye week that we're dealing with right now. So let's run through my top 7 pickups this week. First guy I'm going to recommend, and it's a guy that Dustin jumped on early because we talked about him last week. When he asked, I remember you asked, hey, would you rather have Sterling Shepard or Tez Johnson? And I said to you, Tez got more upside, faster guy. Yeah, he's smaller, but he's a little more explosive. So Tez Johnson leads my waiver wire here, and I think he might be the top waiver wire ad. Dale might have something to say about that. But Tez Johnson of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he plays against the Saints this week in that lowly Saints roster. He's only rostered in 17% of leagues, and I'm recommending between 10 to 15 fab budget dollars. Now, Tez is my top pickup because Mike Evans is done for the year, and his stock just went very, very high. It exploded, basically. Johnson already had back-to-back games with touchdowns, including that highlight 45-yard bomb that he caught a couple weeks ago and another score against Detroit on Monday night. He saw 9 targets in that game, and Baker Mayfield clearly trusts him to stretch the field. Now that Evans is gone, those 8 to 10 targets are up for grabs. So Johnson's walking into a huge opportunity. If you need a guy who's a wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside, definitely like Tez Johnson for that ad.
I'm going to jump in real quick about Tez Johnson. Now, here's the thing. He's still figuring out. I don't know if you saw the game. He ran into Mike Evans, kind of messed that up. And he kind of messed up a route as well too. However, a couple of things. Number one, he's twitchy, he's fast. He is him. He just, he's got to get acclimated, if you will. Number 2, Baker Mayfield is really good. Well, not last Monday night, but majority of the time, he's really good at finding the open wide receiver and getting him the ball. Tez is fast. He's elusive. I think this kid's got major pop. And yeah, I got him in a couple of different leagues. Didn't start him because I was like, I don't know how this is going to shake out. Even in Buka was a starter. I was like, oh, okay, I made the right choice. However, he got a touchdown and he jumped over a defender and caught it. It was awesome.
It was ridiculous. So,
yeah, I agree. This is top guy I would go after, especially in the bye apocalypse right now. Week 8, this guy would be a good guy to start if you're desperate, which majority of us are. So
I think he's better than a desperation start. I think he's legit flex appeal.
Oh yeah, plug in.
That's where I'm at on him.
Set and forget it. Honestly, I think Mbuka's gonna be the number 1 guy, right? And I think Tez is gonna be your wide receiver 2. Maybe sprinkled in Sterling Shepard. Overall, just fantasy wise, he's not very relevant, if you will, right? He's gonna get you those targets. He's gonna get the first down. But I see Tez being that deep ball kind of guy, or he's twitching.
Crossing routes.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to, especially for fantasy, I think he's the better play.
Yeah, just want to say he's 5'10", 165 pounds, soaking wet. The guy's really small, but he's fast as hell. So
yeah. I agree.
All right. Next guy we're going to recommend at wide receiver is Darnell Mooney of the Atlanta Falcons. And he plays against the, like I said, the Miami Dolphins. He plays for the Falcons. My apologies. He's rostered in 29% of fantasy leagues. We're recommending a fat budget spend of between $2 and $5. Now, the reason why we're recommending him is because he came back from an injury and he made an instant impact. He had 3 catches for 68 yards on 5 targets. And don't forget, he had a 1,000-yard season under his belt and was just shy of another one last year. So Atlanta's passing attack has looked really sharp lately, and Mooney gives the field-stretching option that they've been missing. He's not flashy, but he's consistent. Another wide receiver 3/flex guy, okay? Especially with all these buys, he's definitely a guy I'd spend a few bucks on.
And you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for him. Yeah, well, you're welcome. I gave you Bo Nix, who killed me.
It
bit me in the ass.
Best trade ever.
Anyway, well, it kind of makes up for the Drake London trade, kind of.
There you go, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. All right. Third guy we're going to recommend at receiver is Troy Franklin of the Broncos. He plays against the Cowboys this week, and he's only rostered in 9% of fantasy leagues, which is crazy because he's been solid. We're recommending a fat budget spend of between $5 and $7. And the reason is because he continues to build chemistry with Bo Nix. And the volume is starting to follow. He's second on the team in every major receiving category: targets, catches, yards, and touchdowns. And he just saw 10 targets this past week in that comeback win, that crazy comeback win over the Giants. It was nuts. I'm pretty sure they were down 18 with less than 5 minutes to go, and they came back somehow. Anyway, Dallas might look tough on paper, but they've been giving up big plays to receivers all year. Franklin's role and usage make him one of my favorite fantasy ads this week for only $5 to $7. So yeah, another guy to add. Fourth guy I'm going to recommend a receiver, and I have a lot this week, guys. Last week I didn't have too many. Got another guy, Alec Pierce of the Colts. I feel like I've been talking about Alec Pierce for 3 years, but here we are again. He plays against the Titans this week, and he's only rostered in 10% of fantasy leagues. I'm recommending a fat budget spend of $5. And, it's because Josh Downs might be gone this week with a concussion. Alec Pierce immediately becomes a priority streamer if that's the case. He led the Colts with 10 targets last week, turning them into 5 catches and 98 yards in that shootout against the Chargers. The Titans secondary has been a gold mine for fantasy wideouts, so Pierce could easily put up another solid game. I'm comfortable spending 5 fat budgets for 1 week of production from him. Fifth guy I'll recommend is Kayshon Boutte of the Patriots. He plays against that tough Cleveland Browns defense, but he's only rostered in 32% of fantasy leagues. I'm recommending about a $3 to $5 budget spent. Now, Boutte's quietly been the most reliable receiver in New England's offense. Over the last 3 games, he's put up lines of 3 catches for 43 yards, 5 catches for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 2 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. That's consistency, and it's red zone usage. Drake May spreading the ball around, but Boutte keeps leading the team in routes, looks, and targets, okay? There's volatility because of the offense, sure, but in deeper leagues, he's a rock-solid wide receiver 4/second flex option. You can definitely snag him for a few bucks. Deal?
Okay, so a couple things. So, number one, Boutte, right? Like, this... New England's really hard, right? When it comes to like who you're going to start, who you're going to sit, and things like that. So I think he's one of those like matchup kind of guys where like it depends on who he's going up against, or New England, I would say, because like he goes, what was it? Not last week, but the week before he went crazy, and this week he was a little bit more quiet. So I would be kind of cautionary with him and look at the actual matchup before you start him, but he's definitely worth an add. Other thing I just want to throw out, we had a question, so I wanted to break in a little bit.
Absolutely.
So this is from not Dallas. Yeah, not Dallas. Fuck Dallas. Should I trade Terry for JCM? If not, I have to start Kyle Monangai or something this week. Genty and Gibbs are on a bye. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, JCM. Oh, I'm not.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Oh, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that.
I don't.
Scary Terry.
We've been talking about him. Yeah.
I'm out on him. I don't think. I mean, he's one of those guys that maybe you want to stash towards the end. Like if you make it to the playoffs, he may come back and like really help you. But overall, like the Commanders aren't looking commander-ish, and I think they're coming back down to earth, which I'm really happy about because honestly, I'm over the whole debate over who is the real number one pick in quarterbacks, him or our boy. Um, but honestly, like they're not looking as sharp as they did, and like even with like some of the talent that Daniels has around him, just isn't getting it done, man. And Scary Terry, like he's older, so I don't really see him all of a sudden like blowing up. So yes, I recommend that.
And let me
I
give you a
recommend.
few other running backs to try to trade for. See if you can try to get DeAndre Swift. Probably a little harder after the game he just had, but maybe that
Mm-hmm.
guy who has him doesn't think he's that good. See if you can get a guy like Bucky Irving. See if you can get a guy like J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown. There's other names I'd recommend, but they're on buys. Like Kenneth Walker's a name I'd recommend. You could try to trade Terry for. David Montgomery's a guy you could try to trade Terry for. There's a few guys that are available out there. Amarian Hampton, who's still hurt, but when he comes back, he's an RB1. These are just a few names you can, try to get. I know you have a guy this week. I take it's probably because you have some guys on buy, but a few names to throw out there that could be that could help you, win your league.
Thanks for the question. Not Dallas. I agree.
Right.
Not Dallas. Anyways, moving on.
All right, number 6 receiver I recommend is Xavier Legette of the Carolina Panthers. He goes up against the Buffalo Bills this week and is only rostered in 7% of fantasy leagues. We're recommending a fat budget spend of between $2 and $3, and the reason is because Xavier Legette's heating up. He scored in 2 of his last 3 games and just posted his best game yet: 9 catches, 92 yards against the Jets. The connection with Andy Dalton looked real. 4 catches for 60 yards in just 1 quarter before Bryce Young went down. With Young expected to miss another week, Legette should see solid volume again. Definitely worth those 2 or 3 fantasy bucks.
Stupid Red Rocket.
Yeah, the Red Rifle.
Red Rocket. Anyways.
All right, last guy I'm going to go ahead and recommend is Chimere DK. I believe his name is Chimere DK.
It is DK. It is
there you go.
DK.
All right, so he plays for the Titans. He goes up against the Indianapolis Colts this week and is only rostered in 2% of fantasy leagues. I'm recommending $1 budget spend here. This is why. It's super deep league kind of recommendation. DK deserves a mention. And the reason is Calvin Ridley's out. Okay. DK got extended snaps this past week and made the most of them. He had 4 grabs for 70 yards and he had a touchdown. He's still more of a stash kind of guy, but if he keeps seeing those reps, there's potential for more. A sneaky $1 or $2 ad here could help if you're desperate. So here's a quick recap. Tez Johnson's the major guy to go out and get. It's because he gets a major boost with Evans out. Darnell Mooney is a steady wide receiver 3 that you can trust. Troy Franklin, a rookie trending up fast. Alec Pierce, plug-and-play guy, especially if Josh Downs sits. Kayshon Boutte has been steady in improving offense. Xavier Legette, because he has good chemistry with Dalton. And finally, Chimere DK, deep league stash. DL?
Yeah, what I really liked about this list overall, like, honestly, like, Denver is going up against Dallas this week, right? And their defense is absolutely trash. Like, I would start him. I would even, if Marvin Mims is out there, which he probably is, that could be like a sneaky little like flex option right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Denver is going to do really well against Dallas because everybody is. They're giving up the most when it comes to that. So I like that. Xavier Legette, like, I'm so annoyed because like I had him, I dropped him, got him back, dropped him again, and like all of a sudden, of course, when I don't have him on my team, he goes off. But that is fantasy. But yeah, overall, I definitely agree. I think Tez Johnson is the number 1 pick for wide receivers. And if you can get a piece of that Denver offense, I think you're going to be pretty happy and get through this bye apocalypse. You know what's kind of funny? This is why I think some people, or I should say some people think it's scripted, because think about it. It's like Halloween. Ooh. All these teams are going on like bye. It's like, scary. And the other thing is, it's like, why? Why do you put 6 teams on a bye the same week? Like, I know for fantasy reasons, like we're going off on this, but like overall, like the product of the NFL, like you're missing 6 teams. I mean, I know there's 32, but like still, like Dang, dude. Couldn't figure that out
I
a little bit
know.
better, or like at least kind of pivot. And
That's how they do it.
there's rumors that the NFL eventually is going to go to 18 games in a
Really?
season, and there's going to be like a two-tier like buy um buy system that goes on, which is going to really shake things up in fantasy. So,
Okay.
um just rumors, just rumors. But anyways, let's get to those tight ends because there were some actual um oop, not you, it's me. There were some actual some injuries, which I forgot to mention. Waller is dealing with a pec injury. It's not torn, but he is going to be out for a couple of weeks. So here's some guys that if you need to kind of like flex in there, um, this might be a great opportunity. So we're going to start things off with Oronde Gadsden. Okay, good enough. I think I got it. He's going up against the Minnesota Vikings. He's 10% roster. So he hauled in 7 catches for 164 yards and a touchdown on 9 targets. And here's the crazy part: it happened when Keenan Allen, uh, Johnston, and Lad McConkey were all activated for the Chargers. He's not just a 1 week wonder either. Back in week 6 versus Miami, Johnson was sidelined and he posted 7 for 68 yards on 8 targets. That's back-to-back games with heavy usage, and now it looks like Gatson has really carved out a legit role in the offense. He's had 3 games this year with 7 targets, scoring 9.6 PPR points or more in each of them. That's steady volume plus upside, exactly what you're looking for, especially with this midseason, or he's going through this midseason breakout. I'm dropping, or we're suggesting dropping at least 10% of your fab to grab him wherever he's still on waivers. The Chargers clearly want to feed this guy, and he could easily stay fantasy relevant for the rest of the season. So there you go. Number 1 pick. If you're going for tight ends, that's the guy. Next guy we're going to talk about is Cade Otton, which is no surprise here. He's going up against the Saints. He's only 41% roster, so you may have a shot at him still. But things just got really interesting for fantasy managers with Mike Evans, who went down, obviously, in week 7 with a collarbone injury. And, not clavicle, collarbone. Whoopsies. And he suggested he could be out for the rest of the season. On top of that, Chris Godwin is still dealing with a leg issue, and we don't have a clear timeline of his return. That opens up the door for Cade Otton to step in a major way against Detroit. Otton put up 7 catches for 65 yards and 9 targets, and he's now scored at least 10 PPR points in 3 straight games. If you're hunting for a tight end or even looking for a steady flex option, Otton's your guy. Baker Mayfield obviously trusts him, and with all those injuries, he could end up being the number 1 target in this offense. We're recommending that you spend at least 5, maybe even 10% of your fab to grab him. He's the number 1 tight end with upside heading into week 8 against the Saints. And honestly, he might stay in that role for the rest of the season. So, a lot of things going on in Tampa Bay. We're going to flip over to those Houston Texans. We're gonna recommend Dalton Schultz. I feel like we've recommended him every week, but yet he's still only rostered at 23%. He is going against San Francisco. So yeah, he just went off in last week against Seattle. 9 catches for 98 yards on 10 targets. Absolutely a monster day. Now, a big part of that opportunity, Nico Collins left the game with a concussion, and Christian Kirk, as we mentioned before, was dealing with a hammy. That left CJ Stroud leaning heavily on Schultz, and the chemistry between the two looked legit. But here's the thing: even before the game, Schultz was starting to heat up. He's now put up at least 8 PPR points in 4 straight games, and he's gone over 11 points in each of the last 2. That's a solid, consistent production at this position, which is rare. It's tight end in the wasteland, right? If Collins misses week 8 against the 49ers, Schultz could easily be the top target in that offense. And honestly, even whenever everyone's healthy, he's still playing well enough to be, I would say, like a low end tight end one in all formats. We're willing to spend once again like at least 5 to 10% of your fab to snag him. Snag him this week. Tight ends who are locked into the kind of large volume don't come around often. Right now, Schultz looks like this the 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 go-to guy. Wow. Whew. Okay, moving on. Mason Taylor, which we've talked about before. He's still only rostered at 44%, so you still have a shot at him. Because a lot of managers are frustrated right now. He's let us down the past couple of weeks, just 4 catches for 33 yards on 6 targets. That was against Denver and the Panthers. But listen, I'm going right back to him in week 8. And here's why. The matchup could be even better. The Bengals are giving up the most fantasy points to tight ends this season. And they've allowed 9 touchdowns to the position, including 7 in their last 3 games against Detroit, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh. That's massive. You can't really ignore that. So even if Taylor's been quiet, this is a prime bounce back spot. I like him as a low end tight end 1 across all leagues this week, especially if you're streaming the position or needing a plug and play upside option. Seems like a trend here. We're recommending 5 to 10% of your fab to grab him now. The usage is still there, and matchup screams breakout potential. This could easily be the week where he finds the end zone again. Here's an old guy that we haven't talked about in a while, Juwan Johnson. He's not old, but all of a sudden he was really high, and then all of a sudden everyone was dropping him like a bad habit. But he's only 31% rostered. So week 7 against the Bears, he caught 5 catches for 79 yards on 7 targets, and that's the kind of involvement fantasy managers would be waiting for. This was his first game with more than 4 targets since week 3, and when he's been involved, he's been consistent, productive. In fact, Johnson now has 4 games this season with at least 7 targets, and all 4 he's scored 11 points or more. That's the kind of floor and volume you can trust, especially a favorable matchup against the Tampa Bay. 5 to 7% of your fab to grab him this week. He'll be back in the mix. The targets are trending up again. He's a solid wide receiver 3 or flex value with upside. Now we're going to come around to those 4 win streak Chicago Bears with Colston Loveland. He's only 21% rostered. So Loveland, the rookie tight end, could be stepping into a sneaky fantasy opportunity. Why? Because Cole Kmet left week 7 against the Saints with a back injury, and his status for week 8 versus Baltimore is still up in the air. If Kmet can go, that opens the door, or if Kmet can't go, that opens the door for Loveland to get a much bigger role in the offense. He's caught 3 passes for 24 yards on 4 targets against the Saints. Not flashy, but the usage was encouraging. If he gets starter snaps in week 8, he's immediately in a play for a low-end tight end 1 or a streaming option in all formats. And here's the bonus. After Baltimore, the Bears face the Bengals in week 9, another great matchup for tight ends. So this could turn into a fun little 2-week run for the rookie if he earns full-time role. We would spend about 5% of your fab to stash Loveland now. We're going to end things, or I'm going to wrap up the tight ends with Pat Freiermuth. The moose is loose. This is really for like deeper formats. If you're in a 14-man league or something like that, this might be a guy that you want to really go after. He's only 7% roster. He went off in week 7 against the Bengals, catching 5 for 111 yards and not 1, but 2 touchdowns on just 6 targets. Absolute monster day. But before we all go rushing out to the waiver wire, let's add some context here. The Bengals are dead last against tight ends. They've been shredded by the position all season long, and this was the perfect storm for Freiermuth to pop off. Before week 7, he had just caught 8 catches for 76 yards across 5 games, 0 touchdowns, 0. So as great of a breakout look, we have to temper our expectations moving forward. If you're in deeper league, as I just mentioned, or desperate at tight ends, he's worth a filler for about 1% of your fab heading into week 8 against the Packers. But I wouldn't expect that kind of production to be the new normal. So he's a flyer. If you're super desperate, there's nobody left, that would be your guy.
I just want to say, where else are you going to get 7 receivers and 7 tight ends off the waiver wire? Nowhere else but on the Fake Football Guys show.
I went deep. I honestly, like, especially for tight ends, running backs, I kind of left off because there was a couple of guys I'm just like, dude, they're not even worth it. But tight ends, for sure, and wide receivers, for sure. And right now, we're going through that bye apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, there's desperate teams. So yes, 7.
True.
And I'm exhausted. That was a
crazy. Yeah, I could tell.
A lot
of water over there, sir.
I tried.
Do we have defenses this week you want to recommend, DL?
Yeah, we're going to start things off with, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going up against the Raiders, which they're not playing this week because no one updated the script. And JC thought I would be dumb enough not to realize that and read through the whole thing. So I would not recommend them. Good luck. Thank you. Did you want me to look that up?
Yeah, I actually do have a defense here. In the meantime, DL, any tight ends that you want more than other tight ends? Like, is there one that you want? I know you want Gadsden, but what's another guy? Because I'm pretty sure everyone's going to spend big money on Gadsden.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to, you're going to go, especially in those other ones. I'm really a Mason Taylor fan, obviously quarterback. I want to put him as number 2. Cade Otton. Honestly, I'm shocked he's still here, especially with the wide receiver room like really just going down and like dumpster fire, basically. I mean, like, Chris Godwin, even when he did play, he wasn't that good so far this season. I'm not saying he's going to be trash, but I had him. I didn't even start him, and then I was glad I didn't because he didn't do much. And there's a lot of young talent at wide receiver on Tampa Bay, so I think Otton is like that good like safety blanket. And plus, man, like, I don't know if you watched that. Well, I know you watched the Detroit game, but like, man, did you see him like lay out? He's like,
I did. It was crazy.
He's a dog,
as
they would say.
I did. All right, some defenses to recommend, and not a whole lot behind it. The Colts, if you have a chance, the Colts defense has posted 13 or more fantasy points in 2025.
Okay.
And Tennessee, that's who they're going up against. They can't really put in a good game together. So I think that's a good matchup. And then finally, another team that I'm excited for on defense, unfortunately, is the Falcons. Now, the only reason is
I do like the Falcons. I really do.
Yep. Atlanta might be catching the Dolphins at the right time. So the teams, the Dolphins are a mess, a complete mess. So with Miami allowing a top 10 defense in each of its last 2 weeks, so basically anyone that's played Miami has been a top 10 defense, I think the Falcons could be another good streaming option. Yeah.
I would even like if you still have Kansas again because they're only going up. They're playing the Commanders, which could go either way. Things have been going the Commanders. I don't know. I mean, they might get desperate. That's kind of a flare, I would say. If Tampa is available, obviously, try to snag them. I don't think they will be. Sorry, I'm just kind of like looking at a list real quick here. Yeah, I don't think Denver's going to be available. So yeah, I would go with that. Sorry, like, oh, Denver's a real good one. They're not going to be. Oh, from who? Someone nice? They're being.
Yeah, one of my favorite people, Mr. Brian.
Oh, Brian. He was surprised.
He said, he said, what if you tried to outsmart everyone and drafted Baltimore early and now you're Derriere? That's good.
Yeah. He tried to trade me Baltimore.
A defense?
For like, I don't know. It was a stupid trade. No. It was like stupid. It was just a dumb trade. Yeah, Brian. I mean, sucks to suck. I think you can cut them if you're desperate. I mean, yes, their defense is getting a little better.
We put the cart before the horse. We had a voicemail.
What? We did. Oh my gosh. I knew as soon as you said, wait a second. Hold on, let me pull it up. We finally got a voicemail, guys, and we're super excited about it. And I just hope I do this right.
And we apologize to the sender of the voicemail for keeping it till the end, but
here is this message is from DL and JC of the Fake Football Guys. My name is Byron, and I just have a question. In the upcoming weeks, I have two of my quarterbacks on bye. They both have the same bye week. I have Patrick Mahomes and I have Dak Prescott. And I'm wondering if I should drop one or keep them both and just recruit an additional third quarterback just to get me through that bye week. That was my question. I love you guys. Hope you have a great day. And thanks for keep putting up great content.
Thanks, Byron.
We love you, Byron. We love you for that. Awesome. No idea who Byron is, Mr. Acevedo. But yeah, so that's a great question, Dia. What would you do if you have two quarterbacks that are really good and they're both on bye? They happen to be on bye the same week. What are you doing?
All right, so hold on. I'm trying to reread this. So he said that I have
he has Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott. Okay. I'll give you the rundown. And they both have a bye on the same week. Would you add another quarterback or cut one of these guys and add a quarterback? What are you doing?
I would add one because I honestly think that like Dak is having a phenomenal year. I mean, don't look at the record, but fantasy wise, he's doing really good. And I think Holmes or Patrick, if you will, the offense is actually starting to like pick up again. We just saw him go really, really well. So that would be tough. Maybe you want to like go ahead and try to trade one of them and see what you can get back. But yeah, I would definitely not cut either one because I feel like that's going to hurt you in the long run because somebody's going to pick them up for sure. Okay. You're not going to get them back.
Real quick, so week 10, he's talking about week 10. That's when the Chiefs are on bye and the Cowboys appear to be on bye. Just a few quarterbacks that may be available. I'm looking at matchups here. Okay. There isn't a lot of good that's available, being honest with you. Jackson Dart gets to play against the Bears. If he's available, that's a good guy to add against a defense that's getting stronger, but I could see him do well. Man.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. That's 2 weeks away.
Okay, Trevor Lawrence. I don't really recommend Trevor Lawrence that much. He plays against the Texans. There's a few guys. Here's another one. Matt Stafford against the 49ers if he's available. If for any reason
I like that.
Aaron Rodgers is available, maybe he's available. He plays against the Chargers. Those are a few guys I would try to go out. You know what? Spencer Rattler, if he's available, he plays against the Panthers. Rattler hasn't been that bad, honestly. He was bad this past week against the Bears, but before that, he was throwing over 70%. He was throwing 70%. Well, I think 69% completion percentage and over 200 yards a game. So you could get maybe 10, maybe 13, 14. He did get picked.
I don't like that one. I don't like Spencer Rattler. He
goes against the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't like it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can. I guess the question would be, which would you rather have rest of the season? Would you rather have Dak or would you rather have Patrick Mahomes? Because I think you could.
Both.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, maybe you can get some value by trading one.
Yeah, but some leagues are not easy to trade, and like ours.
Ours is not easy to trade.
Every league I'm in, I make trades happen somehow, some way.
Yeah, anyways. Wow, that is a tough one, dude. That is stumping me a little bit because
I can't cut either of those. There's no way I cut them.
You definitely can't cut them, and like the streaming options are just trash. I mean, Jackson Dart, maybe, but you still got to see how the weeks kind of shake out because the Bears are fully healthy, right? Like I don't know about that, man. And they're going to be throwing a lot because Jackson Dart is probably going to be throwing a lot because the Bears are going to be ahead and we're winning by 1 million. So I don't like that one.
That one's tough, man. It really is. I think the Cowboys are a pretender. I don't think they're that good. I think they won't win the division because the Eagles are in it. And I also think that they probably won't be the wild card. When you got a 5-2 team as the second best team, the Lions in the NFC North, and you got a 5-2 Seahawks team, second best team in the
NFC but we're thinking fantasy, not so much.
I understand. I'm just thinking like later on down the season, I think if you have to keep a guy, I want to. If they're equal, I want a guy on a good team because they have something to play for.
So you're thinking Patrick Mahomes would probably be the safe if you had to.
If I gun to my head,
had to.
Yeah, just because he's a little better.
So try to like trade. That's not a bad idea. I mean, you could probably get some value back. I mean, I would look. It's kind of weird because we got to see your full team. So maybe there's some opportunities like, hey, like you got your running game isn't as solid, or your wide receivers or tight end or what have you. So maybe you can like try to like, put together a trade that would probably definitely be a package trade. I don't think you could just like straight up. Give me Brock for Dak. I don't think that's going to go. But maybe look at, if we're going to move with like Dak, trying to move him, I would go after the people that have like CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens, because they would probably be a little bit more like, oh, wow, I get that stack. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, cool. And they're going to like, totally be like, all right, yeah, cool. Take this guy. I don't care. Right.
Yeah.
So you could maybe put the deal. That's tough, man. Cause like quarterback play, like, quarterbacks, yes, they're important, but like I don't see a lot of people moving pieces, like big pieces, where it's like you're gonna get that value. You're probably gonna lose a trade a little bit. Talking about people or someone who loses trades for the better good of the team, it sucks. It's not fun, but you got to see where you're at and evaluate at that point. Like if you're trying to push for the playoffs, then like, do you really need Patrick Mahomes and Dak? I don't know.
Call me crazy, but try to trade Dak if you can to a team with an injured star. Maybe you can get like maybe not. Let me rephrase it. Maybe not star. Maybe you could get Trey Benson for Dak, and Trey Benson will be the starting running back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. And there you go. Maybe you can go and get. I'm just trying to think of injured guys right now that are worth it. That are probably worth something like that.
But you also got to keep in mind too that both those quarterbacks are out week 10, so you need a quarterback. So it's not just like a straight up like Trey Benson. Yeah, here's Dak.
In my mind, it just kind of opens up a reason to go get a quarterback. That we don't have to. I don't like holding two good quarterbacks. Unfortunately, it's just
it sucks.
Not my style. I'd rather have one great quarterback. I mean, have one of them and try to move one of them and get some value out of it. It's just not my style.
That's a really good point, because I was talking to somebody earlier today, because I, obviously I had Bo Nix, and he's like, yeah, I have Bo Nix, and I had Patrick Mahomes, and I didn't know which one to start, and blah, blah, blah. And like, I hate that dilemma. That sucks more than anything. Like, I rather, because you're not going to flex a QB. And
100%. Yeah.
Once again, phony homies, do not start two tight ends. I'm sorry. I'm 100% against that. Every time I've ever done it, it's never worked out. Anytime I've seen it, they both rolled a goose egg. George Kittle and Waller. But the joke's on you because you lost.
You still
the two positions, 0, and you still couldn't get it done. So who's the real winner? Anyways, moving on. I've seen other teams actually do it as well too, and it never works. Have you ever? That's a good question. Have you ever seen someone start two tight ends and you're like, damn, dude, that was smart? Because I haven't seen it.
Yes. In a touchdown-only league I was in, I had Jimmy Graham. We're going back. And
way back.
I started Luke Wilson, maybe, or another tight end, like a second guy who was only playing because the first guy got hurt, and he scored a touchdown, and both scored a touchdown. And that's the only time it's ever happened for me. Otherwise, nothing.
Yeah, it's never been successful. I'm never had it be successful.
Right now, Kincaid and Tyler Warren. So we'll see what happens.
But that's the thing, because you're like, oh, I mean, think about it. George Kittle and Waller. Now I get the debate because Kittle was coming back, but to get 0 targets is nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah,
nuts.
That sucks.
So it doesn't matter. I still beat the pants off that guy.
Half a point. Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
all right, that's it for today. So, phony homies, remember to shoot your start state questions to us by tweeting us at
Tweet FFG
and use the hashtag
Ask Us FFG.
Awesome. And anytime you have any questions that you don't have X or Twitter, you can send us emails at
askusffg@gmail.com.
And then finally, we love the voicemail we got. Shout out to you, Byron, for that
Thank you,
awesome
Byron.
voicemail. What is the phone number for people to leave voicemails, DL?
773-225-5648, and you will get charged up the wazoo
No, you won't.
if you're a bot.
Message and data rates do apply. Thanks for tuning in, phony homies. Thanks to DL for his awesome fantasy advice. My name is JC, and we'll catch you on another episode of the Fake Football Guys show. Like, share, subscribe, and
smash
that notification button. Peace.
Go Bears.
Apocalypse. Ooh.